And so it is. He loved Hannah more than, I will refrain from using that cow terminology. And she was favored, well favored, and he gave her a worthy portion, more than he gave his sons and his other wife. But God had a plan. And we see, but the Lord, read.
But the Lord has shut up her womb.
This was God's doing. God, as much as he loved her and favored her and showered her, as enamored as he was and overtaken by her, then God had different plans in mind, or he had a plan in mind. And his ways are different than our ways is what I was referring to. His thoughts are so superior. His ways are much higher. In essence, and I spent time here before, and man, for me to preach the same thing unto you is not grievous, but for you it is safe. But here we're going to find out all Hannah really wanted was a man child. But God was looking for a prophet. Tied in to the will of God and the plan of God and the desire of God was a desire of a woman to have a man child. It is almost as though it was a shared burden or trial that God was wanting a prophet, and she was an instrument in the trial, in the struggle, in the plan of God. God used a woman that he knew, this woman knows how to pray. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Not only does God know who prays in this church, but he knows who are the effectual fervent prayer warriors of this church. I can't remember. I think someone just started coming and they asked the person that was bringing them out, what time does the walkathon start in the prayer room? Well, God knows the difference between the walkers and the prayer warriors. Between those that are just having a walkathon in a building somewhere and those that are getting the job done, talking to God. Praise God. God knows who to use to get the job done. You may be seated. Verse 6.
And her adversary also provoked her sore.
God needs a prophet. So he's shutting up a woman's womb. A woman that had a conscience. A woman that could be desirous of having a man child because of the reproach and stigma on a woman of that day in society that couldn't give her husband a man child. It wasn't one of those ERA spirits. And I noticed a lot of those ladies got quiet at camp when Brother Bolin was preaching on that spirit the other night. I'll do the preaching around here. You don't need to tell her what I just said. Excuse me. I'll tell you what I just said. Excuse me. Quit running your mouth while I'm preaching. She still don't know I'm talking to her. I hope. He was preaching on a woman's lip spirit. God never expected a woman to run the house. God never intended for a woman to be a man. Sit down, I'm mad now. Well, he ain't preaching, he's bad. God gets mad too. God hates too. Proverbs 6:16.
These 6 things doth the Lord hate.
What?
Doth the Lord hate.
He what?
Hates.
And if God hates him and I'm an ambassador of Christ, I hate him. And if God's message is a message of I hate these things, well, his messenger is going to preach the same message. God hates those things. But this messenger is not preaching it because it's a message. I hate them too.